right, beautiful people. Messing with my phone here, keep falling over. Sheesh. I put it on a charger last night, but apparently it wasn't charging because the cord wasn't plugged in all the way. So I'll make sure it don't go out. So I got it on my portable charger. Let's see what it do. All right, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It is October the 26th, 2021, day 286 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets and of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 954. Today, y'all, we're going to be reading Psalms 31 through, let's say, 36. Yes.
I don't know why I made it a habit, but every time I wake up and I go to work, I have to make sure that when it comes to dressing wise, is in front of him, just to make sure I'm okay and then to go yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to finish because he's about ready to walk out the door.
Yeah, look at the stone on his shirt and he's up.
Please take your basket of clothes upstairs. Thank you. All right, beautiful people. We're going to be reading Psalm 31 through 36, and we're going to pick up where we left off at yesterday in Shakespeare's Secret Messiah. We're still in the introduction on page 30, and we'll keep going till we can't go no more today. All right, beautiful people, so let's go ahead and get it started. Start with the Shema. Trina, hey girl, hey. Tiffany, hey girl, hey. Robert, what's up? Hold on, I got to look down to see the comments, y'all, because I got my phone rigged over here on the side. I got to stand for it, but I didn't think my phone wasn't going to be charged when I woke up, and I would have to open up my box of it, electronic stuff, and pull it out, and I didn't feel like it. No, I was already I would have been late too. Let me see. Okay. All right, beautiful people. It is found in, y'all know where, Deuteronomy Chapter 6, starting at verse 3. Remember, read the whole chapter. Y'all should know the whole chapter by heart now, but we just pull out the meat potatoes, condense it, and give you the gist of it. Levant, blessings. Hear, therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily as Yahuwah, the mighty one of our fathers, has promised us, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah, our mighty one, he is one. And you shall love Yahuwah, your mighty one, with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. And Yahuwah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuwah, our mighty one, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do these commandments before Yahuwah, our mighty one, as he has commanded us. All right, so let's hop right to it. Psalms. '31. Change this version. NLT. All right, Psalm chapter 31. It's for the choir director. It's a psalm of David. Shayla, hey girl, hey. Okay. O Yahuwah, I have come to you for protection. Don't let me be disgraced. Save me, for what you do is right. Turn your ear to listen to me. Rescue me quickly. Be my rock of protection, a fortress where I will be safe. You are my rock and my fortress. For the honor of your name, lead me out of this danger. Pull me from the trap my enemy set for me, for I find protection in you alone. I entrust my spirit into your hand. Rescue me, Yah, for you are a faithful God. I hate those who worship worthless idols. I trust in Yahuwah. I will be glad and rejoice in your unfailing love, for you have seen my troubles, and you care about the anguish of my soul. You have not handed me over to my enemies, but have set me in a safe place. Have mercy on me, Yah, for I am in distress. Tears blur my eyes. My body and soul are withering away. I am dying from grief. My years are shortened by sadness. Sin has drained my strength. I am wasting away from within. I am scorned by all my enemies and despised by my neighbors. Even my friends are afraid to come near me. When they see me on the street, they run the other way. I am ignored as if I were dead, as if I were a broken pot. I have heard the many rumors about me, and I am surrounded by terror. My enemies conspire against me, plotting to take my life. But I am trusting you, O Yah, saying, You are my God. My future is in your hands. Rescue me from those who hunt me down relentlessly. Let your favor shine on your servant. In your unfailing love, rescue me. Don't let me be disgraced, O Yah, for I call out to you for help. Let the wicked be disgraced. Let them lie silent in the grave. Silence their lying lips, those proud and arrogant lips that accuse the godly. How great is the goodness you have stored up for those who fear you. You lavish it on those who come to you for protection, blessing them you lavish it on those who come to you for protection, blessing them before the watching world. You hide them in the shelter of your presence, safe from those who conspire against them. You shelter them in your presence, far from accusing tongues. Praise Yahuwah, for he has shown me the wonders of his unfailing love. He kept me safe when my city was under attack. In panic, I cried out, I am cut off from Yah. But you heard my cry for mercy and answered my call for help. Love Yahuwah, all you godly ones. For Yahuwah protects those who are loyal to him, but he harshly punishes the arrogant. So be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in Yahuwah. Next chapter, Psalm chapter 32. It is a psalm of David. Oh, what joy for those whose disobedience is forgiven, whose sin is put out of sight. Yes, what joy for those whose yes, what joy for those whose record Yahuwah has cleared of guilt, whose lives are in complete honesty. When I refused to confess my sin, my body wasted away, and I groaned all day long. Day and night, your hand of discipline was heavy upon me. My strength evaporated like water in the summer heat. Finally, I confessed all my sins to you and stopped trying to hide my guilt. I said to myself, I will confess my rebellion to Yahuwah, and you forgave me. All my guilt is gone. Therefore, I let the godly pray to you. Therefore, let all the godly pray to you while there is still time, that they may not drown in the flood waters of judgment. For you are my hiding place. You surround me with songs of victory. Yahuwah says, I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. I will advise you and watch over you. Don't be like a senseless horse or mule that needs a bit and bridle to keep it under control. Many sorrows come to the wicked, but unfailing love surrounds those who trust in Yahuwah. So rejoice in Yahuwah and be glad, all you who obey him. Shout for joy, all you whose hearts are pure. Next chapter, Psalm chapter 33. Let the godly sing for joy to Yahuwah. It is fitting for the pure to praise him. Praise Yahuwah with melodies on the lyre. Make music for him on the 10-string harp. Sing a new song of praise to him. Play skillfully on the harp and sing with joy. For the word of Yahuwah holds true, and we can trust everything he does. He loves whatever is just and good. The unfailing love of Yahuwah fills the earth. Yahuwah merely spoke, and the heavens were created. He breathed a word, and all the stars were born. He assigned the sea its boundaries and locked the oceans in its vast reservoirs. Let the whole world feel Yahuwah. Let the whole world fear Yahuwah, and let everyone stand in awe of him. For when he spoke, the world began. It appeared at his command. Yahuwah frustrates the plans of the nations and thwarts all their schemes. But Yahuwah's plans stand firm forever. His intentions can never be shaken. What joy for the nation whose God is Yahuwah, whose people he has chosen as his inheritance. Yahuwah looks down from heaven and sees the whole human race. From his throne he observes all who live on the earth. He made their hearts so he understands everything they do. The best equipped army cannot save a king, nor is strength, nor is great strength enough to save a warrior. Don't count on your war horse to give you victory. For all its strength, it cannot save you. But Yahuwah watches over those who fear him, those who rely on his unfailing love. He rescues them from death and keeps them alive in times of famine. We put our hope in Yahuwah. He is our help and our shield. In him our hearts rejoice, but we trust in his holy name. Let your unfailing love surround us, Yah, for our hope is in you alone. Next chapter, Psalm chapter 34, a psalm of David regarding the time he pretended to be insane in front of Abimelech, who sent him away. Mom, shalom, shalom. I will praise Yahuwah at all times. I will constantly speak his praises. I will boast only in Yahuwah. Let all who are helpless take heart. Come, let us tell of Yahuwah's greatness. Let us exalt his name together. I prayed to Yahuwah, he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. Those who look to him for help will be radiant with joy. No shadow of shame will darken their faces. In my desperation, I prayed, and Yahuwah listened. He saved me from all my troubles, for the angel of Yahuwah is a guard, for he surrounds and defends all who fear him. Taste and see that Yahuwah is good. Oh, the joys of those who take refuge in him. Fear Yahuwah, you, his godly people, for those who fear him will have all they need. Even strong young lions sometimes go hungry, but those who trust in Yahuwah will lack no good thing. Come, my children, and listen to me, and I will teach you to fear Yahuwah. Does anyone want to live a long life that is long and prosperous? Does anyone want to live a life that is long and prosperous? Then keep your tongue from speaking evil and your lips from telling lies. Turn away from evil and do good. Search for peace and work to maintain it. The eyes of Yahuwah watch over those who do right. His ears are open to their cries for help, but Yahuwah turns his face against those who do evil. He will erase their memory from the earth. Yahuwah hears his people when they call to him for help. He rescues them from all their troubles. Yahuwah is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. The righteous person faces many troubles, but Yahuwah comes to the rescue each time. For Yahuwah protects the bones of the righteous, not one of them is broken. Calamity will surely destroy the wicked, and those who hate the righteous will be punished. But Yahuwah will redeem those who serve him. No one who takes refuge in him will be condemned. Not the last chapter. We're on 35. We're reading up to 36. Psalm chapter 35. A psalm of David. O Yahuwah, oppose those who oppose me. Fight those who fight against me. Put on your armor and take up your shield. Prepare for battle and come to my aid. Lift up your spear and javelin against those who pursue me. Let me hear you say, I will give you victory. Bring shame and disgrace on those trying to kill me. Turn them back and humiliate those who want to harm me. Blow them away like chaff in the wind, a wind sent by the angel of Yahuwah. Make their path dark and slippery, with the angel of Yahuwah pursuing them. I did no wrong, but they laid a trap for me. I did them no wrong, but they dug a pit to catch me. So let sudden ruin come upon them. Let them be caught in the trap they set for me. Let them be destroyed in the pit they dug for me. Then I will rejoice in Yahuwah. I will be glad because he rescues me. With every bone in my body, I will praise him. Yahuwah, who can compare to you? Who else rescues the helpless from the strong? Who else protects the helpless and poor from those who rob them? Malicious witnesses testify against me. They accuse me of crimes I know nothing about. They repay me evil for good. I am sick with despair. Yet when they were ill, I grieved for them. I denied myself by fasting for them, but my prayers returned unanswered. I was sad as though they were my friends or family, as if I were grieving for my own mother. But they are glad now that I am in trouble. They gleefully join together against me. I am attacked by people I don't even know. They slander me constantly. They mock me and call me names. They snarl at me. How long, O Yah, will you look on and do nothing? Rescue me from their fierce attacks. Protect my life from these lions. Then I will thank you in front of the great assembly. I will praise you before all the people. Don't let my treacherous enemies rejoice over my defeat. Don't let those who hate me without cause gloat over my sorrow. They don't talk of peace. They plot against innocent people who mind their own business. They shout, aha, aha. With our own eyes, we saw him do it. Oh, Yah, you know all about this. Do not stay silent. Do not abandon me now, O Yah. Wake up. Rise up to my defense. Take up my case, my God and my Lord. Declare me not guilty, O Yahuwah, my God, for you give justice. Don't let my enemies laugh about me and my troubles. Don't let them say, look, we got what we wanted. Now we will eat him alive. May those who rejoice at my troubles be humiliated and disgraced. May those who triumph over me be covered with shame and dishonor, but give great joy to those who came to my defense. Let them continually say, great is Yahuwah who delights in blessing his servant with peace. Then I will proclaim your justice and I will praise you all day long. All right, beautiful people. Last chapter for today, Psalm chapter 36. It's for the choir director. It's a psalm of David, the servant of Yahuwah. Sin whispers to the wicked deep within their hearts. They have no fear of Yahuwah at all. In their blind conceit, they cannot see how wicked they really are. Everything they say is crooked and deceitful. They refuse to act wisely or do good. They lie awake at night, hatching sinful plots. Their actions are never good. They make no attempt to turn from evil. Your unfailing love, O Yah, is as vast as the heavens. Your faithfulness reaches beyond the clouds. Your righteousness is like the mighty mountains, your justice like the ocean depths. You care for people and animals alike, O Yah. How precious is your unfailing love. All humanity finds shelter in the shadow of your wings. You feed them from the abundance of your own house, letting them drink from your river of delights. For you are a fountain of life, the light by which we see. Pour out your unfailing love on those who love you. Give justice to those with honest hearts. Don't let the proud trample me or punish or push me around. Look, those who do evil have fallen. They are thrown to the ground. They are thrown down, never to rise again. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. Y'all got this plant sitting right here, and I don't know, maybe it had gnats in it or something, but it's these couple gnats that's flying around here. When I put this plant on the table, I think I'm gonna take the plant outside and kind of let it air out or something. But I hate gnats. I'm about to get my apple cider vinegar and put it out. Apple cider, if you didn't know, getting like a cap full of apple cider vinegar and putting a drop of dish detergent in it will attract the gnats. They'll smell it, they'll go to it, and they'll sit on it, and then they'll get caught in it. Their wings will get wet and they won't be able to get out. That's the fastest, easiest way to catch gnats. I started seeing it yesterday when I put this plant in here. I'm like, you know what? This is going to pluck my nerves if I don't take care of this now. Yahuwah is one. Shalom, shalom. Okay, y'all. So let's pull up the book if you got it. If not, don't worry about it. It didn't work for you? Use a lot of it, Tiffany. When I say a cap full, I got these little mason jars. So y'all know how big mason jars are, like the 12-ounce ones. So I actually use that. So I take the top off of that and I fill that up with so it's bigger than a cap full. So I fill it up. It's probably about a little bit bigger than this. And I fill it up. It's like real thin. I fill it up. And I actually put like 3 drops because it's bigger. You know, I put like 3 drops of the I got Dawn dish detergent in it, and I set it on the counter. And within when I come back there, you can see the gnats hovering near it, trying to debate whether they want to get close or not. So within about it has always worked for me. I just didn't put it out yesterday when I saw it. And it just reminded me when it was just flying in front of my face just now. Um, but it normally works really fast for me. Try it again if you need to, Tiffany. Get something bigger to put it in. I've actually even used it, but I had to use a lot more. That was before I thought to use the little mason jar tops because they were thinner. I actually have used one of my little small glasses for it as well, and I just kind of filled it halfway up with apple cider vinegar. And I know that's a waste of it, but I had a big jug of it, so I filled it halfway up, did the same thing, a few drops of the Dawn, and it still worked. They hover. What you want to do, here's what I noticed: you want to make sure that the glass or whatever you use is not so deep where they got to travel so far to get to it. Otherwise, they may just kind of hover around the top. But if it's something thin like that, and the apple cider vinegar is right there, where if they standing on the edge of the top or whatever you're using, they move slightly, they'll be in it. That's what you should do. Use something like that. Yeah. So just adjust it a little bit, Tiffany. I'm not sure how you did it. Okay. So we paused on page 30 yesterday, like I said, which is still in the introduction. And we're at the section that's entitled, But What About the Martyrs? That actually might be our title for today, since it's the title of the new section we're starting. Okay. But what about the martyrs? Doubters will scoff that the Romans, and we're still doing, with the introduction, we're still doing the overview or the recap of what we read in Caesar's Messiah. And he did, I think it's so long because um, just in case people read this that don't actually read Caesar's Messiah first, it'll give them a good summation of what he taught. Although you ain't getting as much detail and deep detail, if you actually go read it, the like I said, the introduction is like 65 pages, right? But you want to make sure he hit every chapter. He hits every chapter, sums up every chapter, and it takes you into the what he's explaining here, which is a deeper revelation of how the New Testament was comprised, and Shakespeare and what he used, and how Shakespeare is linked to this whole farce many years down the road, right? So, okay. Hang with me, y'all. Hey, Pooh, what you need? Huh? We're supposed to leave out in 6 hours. You want us to move out? Oh, are we gonna leave out in 6 hours? Yeah, and just go in something and just have our whole room. Oh, soon, Pootie. Can you go get me water out my refrigerator? Thank you. Okay. Okay. But what about the martyrs? Doubters will scoff that the Romans couldn't have created and nurtured Christianity while they were simultaneously doing their best to stamp it out. A more extensive response to this question will be following in the third volume of this series, which will deal comprehensively with the supposed periods of persecution. Meanwhile, I would like to make the following observations. The third book that he's working on, I hope it's done. Look, it may not be done by the time we get done reading this. We'll be reading this for a couple weeks, but I hope something is put out that way we can kind of keep going through the volumes of this as he breaks it down further and further. Okay. Meanwhile, let me go back. Let's see. A more extensive response to this question will be following in the third volume of this series, which will deal comprehensively with the supposed periods of persecution. Meanwhile, I would like to make the following observations. One, up until Constantine's edicts, all forms of Christianity were equally forbidden from a Roman legalistic perspective. However, in addition to the Roman Catholic form, there were many other nominally Christian sects, including Gnostic sects, as well as quite possibly genuinely Messianic Jewish sects or sects, sects. And many, Jeremiah, don't mess with her. Leave her alone. Thank you, Tootie. In many martyrdom narratives, it can be difficult or impossible to tell whether the victim was an Orthodox Roman Catholic or a follower of some more zealous act. What do you need, son?
It's gonna be annoying. That's pretty usual.
Well, go be annoying over there. You better hurry up. Why don't you get your shoes on?
Because Dad might take a shower and I might as well just like some water. Eat a banana.
Well, you still need to be ready because you know how fast. First, it's like, oh, dad is in the shower. Next thing we know, he's starting up the car. Like, wait, what? When did you even get dressed? So go get fully dressed because when he's ready to go, he's ready to go. Let's go.
Did you see those sock looking shoes?
No, I haven't.
Champions?
Put all your stuff where it belongs, and then you'll be able to find it when you're looking for it. Yeah, you better hurry up because you know your daddy will pull off on you. Mr. Murphy trying to teach his son some responsibility. Boy, get up early, get dressed, get your stuff done, and roll. He was like, if you want to work, and he's 18 now, right? So, you know, he's 18. And so when dad is ready to roll out for the project, he was like, I don't feel like, he said, you're 18. He said, I've been talking to you about this since you were 16. He said, you a man, right? Now he's 18. Yeah, you know, they developing into manhood, right? So he was like, I don't feel like I need to come wake you up. He said, because once you get out there on your own, you have to wake yourself up. He said, so start practicing it now. He said, this is what time I'm leaving. This is what time you should get up. You should get up at this time because we have to go to the warehouse first, get this, and then we need to go to the job site. It's going to take us this much time. He said, you need to be thinking about this. He said, so when I'm ready to roll, you better already be downstairs waiting for me to walk out the door. Otherwise, you're going to get left. Right? Yeah. So he picked up real quick. James Murphy let him come. He said, I told you, well, you weren't ready to go. He said, I ain't coming looking for you. He said, you know what you need to do. Get up and get going. He said, how you going to take care of family if you can't even pull yourself out of bed? I'm like, go ahead. I'm just sitting back. And so you know me, being mom, look, you know what your dad said. You better hurry up. You know, he waits for no one. I said, he don't even wait for me. If I'm taking too long, he will pull off on me. And so he be lollygagging, moving around here, and be like, I'm like, okay, all right, keep on. Then you come crying on payday because you ain't got no money, right? And they're gonna think we're gonna give you some because we mom and dad. We had to show them real quick, you know. Although it really hurt me not to help them out, we're trying to teach them a principle. Man, don't work, man, don't eat, right? I don't care that you still living with us. We're trying to teach you this before you leave our house, right? All right, so all right, Tootie. So if y'all hear me talking to him, just you know, we're trying to develop him into manhood. So just you know, all right. In many martyrdom narratives, it can be difficult or impossible to tell whether the victim was an Orthodox Roman Catholic or a follower of some more zealous sect. Number two, modern scholars have found that the scale of martyrdom has often been overestimated. For discussion, see Candida Moss's The Myth of Persecution, and that's reference 21. The third thing that the third observation he made was number three, many of the Christian martyrs were Jewish zealots. For example, Atwill shows in Caesar's Messiah that the martyrdom of Simon predicted by Jesus in John 21 actually foresaw the execution of the zealot leader Simon in 73 CE. Rome had, in effect, used its martyrdom of the zealots as part of its pseudo history of Roman Christianity. The next section, literary imitation, typology, and enigma. Regardless of any reader's intuition about the likelihood of a Roman conspiracy to invade Christianity, Caesar's Messiah is fundamentally evidence-based and grounded in literary analysis. The basic methodology is the assessment of literary imitation, that is, borrowing or mimesis. By borrowing literary elements from a predecessor, an author betrays his awareness of the precedent material as well as revealing his viewpoint or analysis of it. Literary imitation has been a common practice in all ages and was highly revered among the authors of the Old Testament, who were especially fond of chaistic forms. Chaism involves a series of literary elements that are placed in order and then referred to in reverse order, unwinding the chasm. For example, A, B, C, C, B, A. These structures can be brief or very extensive. I'm sorry, Almost the entire Torah, from the middle of Exodus to the end of Leviticus, is said to be a giant chasm. New Testament scholars discovered that the gospel characters and events are often foreshadowed in the Old Testament in a relationship in which the Old Testament model is called the type and the New Testament embodied is called the antitype. The theological study of types and antitypes is called typology. The theological practitioners see New Testament events as evidence of divine intervention in history. Modern secular literary critics, of course, see it as proof only that the New Testament authors studied the Old Testament and invoked its authority and wisdom in their writings. In Caesar's Messiah, Atwell focused on a particular variety of typology that involves a series of parallels that are dense, sequential, distinctive, and interpretable. Reference 22. When these criteria are met in abundance, they can be considered as sure evidence of literary dependency. Density relates to the number of parallels that occur within a brief amount of text. Sequence relates to the extent that the parallel references occur in the same order. Distinctiveness relates to the degree that the parallels must relate to unusual and infrequent words, names, or concepts, and interpretability relates to the extent that we can understand the reasoning behind the choice to use a particular literary reference. The ways in which the reference in the ways in which the reference has been transformed or slavishly copied as the case may be, and the point that the author is trying to make. The New Testament makes abundant use of dense, sequential, distinctive, and interpretable mimesis of the Old Testament. A good example is Matthew's story of Jesus' empty tomb, which draws from the tale of Daniel in the lion's den, reference 23. The parallels are highlighted in bold-faced type. And so what it's about to do, it's about to give you the portion from Daniel that Matthew copied, right? And the so you can see just in case you don't have it, you'll see there's some bold there. So it's pulling out the bold things that are like in both passages and how Matthew, the authors of the book of Matthew, copied the authors of Daniel. Okay. Daniel chapter 6, verse 17 through 28. Then a stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste to the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried out, saying to Daniel, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to deliver you from the lions? Then Daniel said to the king, O king, live forever. My God has sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths so that they have not hurt me. And the king gave command, and they brought those men who had accused Daniel, and they cast him into the den of lions, and the lions overpowered them and broke all their bones in pieces. Then King Darius wrote, to all peoples, nations, and languages, I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom, men must tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God. His dominion shall endure to the end, and he works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. And in Matthew chapter 27, verses 59 through 20, Matthew chapter 27, verse 59 through Matthew chapter 28 through verse 20 says, when Joseph had taken a body, he rolled a large stone against the door of the tomb. Pilate's guards went and made the tomb secure, sealing the stone and setting the guard. Now, after the Sabbath, as the first day of the week began to dawn, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and came and rolled back the stone, and the guards became like dead men. But the angel answered and said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus who was crucified, for he is risen. Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, and Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, and lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the age." Okay, so I'm going to read the bold from Daniel, then I'm going to read the bold from Matthew. So, what was bolded in Daniel chapter 6 was a stone was brought and laid on the mouth of the den. The king sealed it very early in the morning. O king, live forever. My God sent his angel. They brought those men who had accused Daniel and cast them into the den of lions, and the lions overpowered them and broke all their bones in pieces. To all peoples, nations, and languages, his dominion shall endure to the end in heaven and on earth. So, what I just read was all bold. And here's Matthew, who uses the same thing. They just kind of reword it just a little bit, but it's the same thing. He rolled a large stone against the door of the tomb, sealing the stone as the first day of the week began to dawn. For an angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and the guards became like dead men. He is risen, all authority, heaven and on in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Parallels include the stone, the seal, the time, early in the morning or at dawn, the angel sent from God, the guards or the accusers, like dead men or killed, Daniel's wish for the king to live forever, which foreshadows Jesus is risen, and the benediction to all the nations in heaven and earth under God's dominion or authority to the end of the age. All these specific parallels occur in two short, dense passages, generally, but not exactly in sequence. And of course, the message is that Daniel is a type that is a prefiguration of Jesus, who is the antitype. Similarly, the Old Testament Joseph in Genesis 45 through 50 is a type of New Testament Joseph, and Moses, Exodus chapter 1 through 32, is a type of Jesus, Matthew chapter 2, verses 13 through Matthew chapter 4, verses 10. As Atwill explains, quote, Joseph is described as bringing Jesus, who represents the new Israel, down to Egypt. A previous Joseph brought the old Israel down to Egypt. The New Testament Joseph is described like his counterpart in the Hebrew Bible as a dreamer of dreams and as having encounters with a star and wise men. Both stories regarding the journey of a Joseph to Egypt are immediately followed by a description of a massacre of innocents. Each massacre of the innocents story depicts young children being slaughtered by a fearful tyrant, but the future savior of Israel being saved. The authors of the New Testament then continue mirroring Exodus by having an angel tell Joseph, "They are dead which sought the young child's life." Matthew chapter 2 and 20. This statement is a clear parallel to the statement made to Moses, the first savior of Israel, in Exodus chapter 4, verse 19. All the men are dead which sought their life. The parallels then continue with Jesus receiving a baptism in Matthew chapter 3, verse 13, which mirrors the baptism of the Israelites passing through water, described in Exodus chapter 14. Next, Jesus spends 40 days in the desert, which parallels the 40 years the Israelites spent in the wilderness. Both sojourns in the desert involve three sets of temptations, chapters 16 through 17. Hold on, I'm sorry, verses 16 through 17. The first of these temptations involves bread. The second, tempting God. The third, worshiping and serving only God. This typological mapping is widely acknowledged by scholars, even though the Old Testament, even, I'm sorry, this typological mapping is widely acknowledged by scholars, even though the Old Testament half of the typology sprawls across acres and acres of Old Testament territory, and thus the entire argument could easily be criticized on the basis of multiple comparisons fallacy. That is, each New Testament phrase is compared to many passages of the Old Testament, and thus you would expect a certain number of parallelisms to arise purely by random processes. In other words, this example fails McDonald's density criterion. Yes, son. Just come out your mouth. In this case, we certainly agree with the scholarly consensus that each individual parallel is sufficiently powerful to overcome the multiple comparisons bias inherent in this typological example as a whole. Are you playing around? You still ain't got your shoes on. Okay. All right. I'm gonna see you running out the house because he gonna catch you because I think he got his shoes on. I can hear he sits in the same place, grabs his shoes, drop them. I hear them drop every single day. And I know he's putting his shoes on. He gonna catch you slipping. And I'm gonna laugh when he pulling off down the road and you standing here, Dad, hey, and I'm gonna hear him hollering at you on the phone.
Y'all need to get out of this house. Y'all finna hit too long.
No, I just know what goes on. All right, you sitting here. All right. See, your mom be playing. And then he come looking at me like, Dad left? I'm like, y'all witnesses today, right? He playing around. He about to get left. His daddy putting his shoes on. All right, look. And Dad can go work by himself. Yeah, that's right. That's what's about to happen. Dad about to go to work by himself. In this case, we certainly agree with the scholarly consensus that each individual parallel is sufficiently powerful to overcome the multiple comparisons bias inherent in this typological example as a whole. It is important to notice that the differences between the type and the antitype passages cannot defeat the proof of literary dependence. On the contrary, it is the differences that allow the later author to convey his own unique message. This point may be illustrated graphically with the three images of the Mona Lisa illustrated. This point may be illustrated graphically with the three images of the Mona Lisa above. Reference 24. Okay. And they got three pictures of Mona Lisa, right? They got the normal picture. Then they got the next one where she got on an afro, glasses, and she holding a guitar. And then the last picture, she looking like the Taliban, right? Okay. Oh, y'all can't see it on Facebook. I forgot y'all off to the side. Okay. Can you see it? All right. We know that the two images to the right are both inspired by the Mona Lisa at the left because of the shared theme and also because of the many shared details, even though the differences are also easy to spot and each image has its own message to convey. Atwill's position is that common sense is a good guide in determining whether literary mimesis is involved in linking to passages in literature, just as it's good to guide in imagery. Okay, I'm gonna show you this again. There is still enough details in each of the pictures that shows you that this was originally something else. Well, I know that looks familiar, and then you begin to uncover it a little bit. Yeah, that's just the Mona Lisa. She got on a good talk to an afro on it, and here's the original thing, right? So this is the example he's using. He's pretty much saying that you will still be able to see some proof that this right here, this was not the original, right? There's an original somewhere, and these were copied. The details on things were copied from it, but certain things were also added to it, and even with the covering of being taken away, right? So, I'm gonna just read this again. It is important to notice that the differences between the type and the anti-type passages cannot defeat the proof of literary dependence. On the contrary, it is the differences that allow the later author to convey his own unique message. This point may be illustrated graphically with the three images of the Mona Lisa above. We know that the two images to the right are both inspired by the Mona Lisa at the left because of the shared theme and also because of the many shared details, even though the differences are also easy to spot and each image has its own message to convey. Atwill's position is that common sense is a good guide in determining whether literary mimesis is involved in linking two passages in literature, just as it is a good guide in imagery. And I show you the pictures again, right? Okay. Also note that the use of literary mimesis is mimesis. Also note that the use of literary mimesis does not in itself prove that the incident being described is fictional. A writer might easily decide to begin with a real but relatively mundane historical event and dress it up with literary spices and delicacies. In our modern world, we would frown upon a journalist or news reporter who was caught indulging in this sort of thing. However, no such code of ethics was even conceived of in ancient times, so the line between fact and fiction is not so easy to discern in ancient literature. Sense of humor required. Another aspect of Atwill's view of Josephus and the Gospels is that they both represent a highly developed, wicked sense of humor. For most of us who are trained in one way or another to respect the Christian religion as a source of at least symbolic or allegorical spiritual wisdom, this view of the Gospels can be difficult to accept. Similarly, there is a natural tendency to respect Josephus as one would respect any other historian and to expect a journalistic perspective from him. The problem is compounded because of one of the essential aspects of humor is its trust and respect for the audience in their ability to grasp the humorist's perspective. That is, the comedian does not explain or expound upon the meaning of his joke. He just tells the joke and then the audience laughs, which proves that they got it. The magic is broken if the humorist needs to spell it out for the audience. Clearly, we all can understand that, right? Okay. The problem with Jos the problem with Josephine and gospel humor is that up until Atwill, the audience, for the most part, hasn't been laughing because of the ability to appreciate these subtle jokes has largely been lost. First of all, modern readers don't have the historical background, nor do they have the same command of the classical literature, such as the Homer and the Old Testament, that was possessed by the well-educated elite of the ancients. Many jokes are based upon the detailed knowledge of their context. You see your son upstairs walking around?
Ready to go?
He got his shoes on his feet?
Oh, what you mean?
Because I've been telling him, I was like, look, do you know how fast James Murphy get dressed? I said, first, I was like, you better go get your shoes on. He said, Dad in the shower. I was like, yeah, just like last time. Oh, Dad in the shower. Next thing we know, he pulling off from the house. And you looking like, what? I'm like, look, I was like, he just dropped the shoes on the floor. He put them on his feet.
You be clocking me, don't you?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I know. All right, look, see, he ain't down here. He about to walk out. Y'all witnesses. Look. Look.
Look. So sorry. No, what?
He got his shoes on?
Oh. All right, give me a kiss.
Look. Dad doing his hugs and kisses. I'm walking out the door.
Fortnite's updating. He only had that one match last night.
Jeremiah still ain't made it down the stairs. I hear him moving around. He still ain't put his shoes on. I know he haven't. I know that.
There you go. You got everything you have need of?
What?
Oh, okay. There you go. Boy, he almost misses right to work.
Bye.
Let it go walking out. I'm like, you know what, boy? He think he can't get fired because we the
Mom,
boss.
have you seen my art
But-
case?
Huh?
Seen my art case?
Your what case?
My art case.
Your art case.
My hard.
Your hard case.
Yeah.
Looking, did you move it? I stacked them in the dining room. Who moved it? Come here. Well, you must have took it upstairs or something.
With my hair.
Okay, too, babe. Get back. Okay, y'all. Let me finish reading this. We only got a few more minutes. Okay. Okay, the problem, let me read this. The magic is broken if the humorist needs to spell it out for the audience. The problem with Josephine and gospel humor is that up until at will, the what? Boy. Hold on, y'all. He's banging on the window like he the police. Police don't even bang. Well, some niggas, some busted, but scare crap out of me. Don't do that. Where you got the key? Jesus, Pete. One of the smaller kids locked the screen door.
I did like the screen door. I'm little.
Okay. Josh. Who's through there, Bella? He forgot something. He back in here in the house. Rushing to catch his dad out the house and still forgot something. Come back in here. All right, look. The problem with Josephine and gospel humor is that up until at will, the audience, for the most part, hasn't been laughing because of the ability to appreciate these subtle jokes has largely been lost. First of all, modern readers don't have the historical background, nor do they have the same command of the classical literature, such as Homer and the Old Testament, that was possessed by the well-educated elite of the ancients. Many jokes are based upon a detailed knowledge of their context. Another essential aspect of humor is that it is always at someone's expense. That is, the humorist is making fun of his target of literary dependence. Humorous literature must always be written as a response to a prior source or event. That is chagrin. Chagrin. Again, it's necessary to understand the historical context in order to see how the arrow of times ever forward progression. In the Flavian comic system, the attack on the targeted Jews is vicious, which presents another problem for modern readers. The era of the Flavians was an era when perhaps the majority of people were held as slaves, treated little better than cattle, an era when death in combat was up close and personal, and an era when gladiatorial blood and gore was considered entertainment. It was overall an age of great cruelty. The modern zeitgeist has changed. Even if the material condition of billions of people is really little better, those of us in positions of some comfort are at least more circumspect about taking pleasure at their plight. Thus, the Flavian jokes tend to fall flat on modern ears because we feel that a more appropriate response would be to or ick rather than hearty laughter. Ooh, right? You know how that's what they're talking about. Like instead of just laughing at somebody, it's like, ooh, ugh, sheesh. You know. In spite of all these problems, my own experience in reading Caesar's Messiah is that the book is disturbingly amusing because the Romans were ingenious humorists in their own way, and there is an emotional rush in suddenly seeing the hidden joke. I hope that other readers will have the same experience. The other type of literary reference studied by Atwill is the enigma, as explained in the outline as explained in the online Jewish Encyclopedia article on Philo Judaeus, reference 25. Philo taught that allegory or enigma is generally signaled by devices such as the doubling of a phrase, and apparently superfluous expressing in the text, the repetition of statements previously made, a play upon words, any peculiarity in a phrase, noteworthy omissions, striking statements, or numerical symbolism. In Josephus, enigmas are often signaled by the insertion of an obvious fable or fantasy within the flow of the historical narrative. Again, humor comes into play as discovering the solution to an enigma often brings a smile or perhaps a grimace. Enigmas may be taken as a license to go on searching across all preceding ancient literature to find relevant information and clues that might explain the meaning of the enigma in its context. Readers who take issues with at-will solutions are, of course, invited to come up with their own or search the literature for other solutions that have been offered in the past. The criteria for a good solution is that it fits all the information provided in the enigma, not just some of it, and that it makes a point consistent with the author's overtly expressed intentions. And that is where we will pause at today at 55 minutes, y'all. And we start this next little subsection of the introduction tomorrow, which is called The Gospel's Dependency on Josephus. All right, y'all, for 38. All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the reading for today. It is Tuesday, October the 26th, 2021, day 286 of year 3 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. And of the 3-year consecutive day count, day 954. We read Psalms 31 through chapter 36, and we read Shakespeare's Secret Messiah. We're still in the introduction, and we read pages 30 through 38. All right, y'all. So let's do the blessing.
No, I'm going to end it.
You're going to end it? Yes, you're going to end it, Tootie. All right. So remember, y'all, the blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. Remember, verse 21 verses is the Nazarite vow. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his son, saying, On this wise you shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yahuwah will kneel before us, presenting gifts, and will guard us with a hedge of protection. Yahuwah will illuminate the wholeness of his being towards us, bringing order, and he will provide us with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yahuwah will lift up his wholeness of being and look upon us, and he will set in place all we need to be whole and complete. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people. That is it. Let me double check. No questions on Facebook. I got my phone rigged over here. Nothing over here on YouTube. We got to get out of here. I got some work to do. Get it done. Tootie, come on. Love y'all. See y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead. In the stream. And this one.
Why did this?
You put up 3 fingers. Peace is 2. 2. Okay. Quick thing. All right. You got to end this right here because I hit finish over here. Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, there you go. Never delete. Post now. Boom. Okay.
Ching. Mom,
YouTube.
Mom, I'm hungry.
You always hungry, Tootie. End it. We'll fix something to eat in a second. What you want to eat?
I want